This week on Siskel and Ebert, District Attorney Andy Garcia fights big city corruption in Night Falls on Manhattan.
Jason Alexander is one of a group of gay friends seeking love, valor, compassion.
And it's lust at first sight for two young couples in the romantic comedy Sprung.
Expect the worst, so prepare yourself. Everybody's going to want a piece of you now that you're elected.
Andy Garcia plays a young Manhattan district attorney who learns the ropes fast in Night Falls on Manhattan, one of 5 new movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Night Falls on Manhattan is a fascinating study of the way real politicians and real police officers exist in a real and sometimes corrupt world. It stars Andy Garcia as a young assistant district attorney whose father, a veteran cop, is shot while trying to arrest the biggest drug dealer in Harlem. Ron Liebman plays the DA, who decides for political reasons that the young lawyer with only 8 months on the job will try the case.
He's the worst dope dealer in Harlem. A murderer of his own people. A monster. As I said, easiest case this office will ever have. I hope they get him alive. Because I want him put on trial by this office.
That's Colm Feore as Liebman's snaky assistant there. Liebman steals nearly every scene he's in with a style that borders on self-parody but still works as drama.
I got lots of friends, Eli. People owe me. You're going to go against me in the primary, aren't you? And if I whip your ass, and I will, you return to the party of your people and make the run against me that way. And you think I'm going to hand you a career-making case so you can destroy me? What do you think, I'm an idiot?
Garcia's opponent in the big case is a famous defense attorney played by Richard Dreyfuss. His motives for defending a slimy drug dealer are more complicated than they seem.
Why'd you take the case?
Because I was after something else.
What?
Sean. The first rule of the drug world. There can't be that much money around without dirty cops. That's what I wanted to get to.
Why? Who appointed you?
My 15-year-old daughter. When she OD'd.
There's also a love interest. Garcia starts an affair with a lawyer from Dreyfuss's office, played by Lena Olin.
I live my life as openly and as honestly as possible. You're completely attractive.
I know.
The police corruption case creeps close to home. Garcia's father, played by Ian Holm, swears he's clean.
So he comes to me and he asks me, what should he do? What should he do? I told him I didn't want to touch it. So he turned him down. How do you know? How do I know what? That he turned him down!
He's my partner.
And his father's partner, convincingly played by James Gandolfini, tells Garcia the same thing.
I swear to you, as far as I know, your father's clean.
Now, some of those characters may be lying, and one of them is an evil man. But what's fascinating about this film is that not a single character is played as the villain. They are all complex, complicated men and women living in a grown-up world, and the movie is about doing the best you can in a system that has been compromised before and will be compromised again and was rotten before you ever entered it. Night Falls on Manhattan is a surprisingly thoughtful, mature film and an entertaining one. The director is Sidney Lumet, who has handled similar themes in films like Prince of the City in 1981 and Q&A in 1990, all 3 times avoiding the easy formulas of police thrillers. Instead, he's interested in how the system really works.
Yes, and I think that that's also due to a person you haven't credited, and that's Robert Daly, whose book this is based on. Robert Daly is one of the best city police reporters working in New York, and it's smart, it's knowing, it captures all the feeling of the ethnic infighting. Everybody's classified according to their ethnic group in Manhattan politics and in the police work, and it's smart about that too. And Ron Liebman, I wouldn't even use self-parody. I think he is just thoroughly entertaining. We talked about the joy of performing quality. Yeah. He's having a blast there, and he does a great job.
I didn't know what to call what he does in this film because I enjoyed every single second that he was on the screen.
It's just wonderful.
And you laugh. It goes right up to the edge of seeming to want you to laugh, and you kind of laugh at how close he gets.
Exactly.
If you know what I mean.
There you go. That's
and
better.
it was a lot of fun. It's a good movie.
Okay, next movie. And our next film is Rudyard Kipling's The Second Jungle Book. And this is not connected to the enjoyable 1967 cartoon feature. Rather, it is a dismal live-action story of a little Indian boy who operates as sort of a junior Tarzan, commanding the jungle's animals at will. And here is the little boy, Mowgli, on the run with some of the animals. What's surprising is that the boy, played by Jamie Williams, is more interesting than any of the film's creatures. That's because we can tell the animals have been inserted into the film through obvious editing and cheap optical effects. The story has Mowgli being chased by a series of bad guys, including an American adventurer who scouts for the circus impresario P.T. Barnum, and an evil Indian who wants to hide Mowgli's real identity. They employ a snake charmer and his pet, named Kaa, as helpers.
Who cannot escape? My Timo? The jungle boy, you fool.
Also out to control Mowgli is a broken-down soldier and would-be ruler named King Murphy, played by Roddy McDowall, who doesn't count on the strength or the fidelity of Mowgli's animal friends.
Disappear at the door.
And that, of course, is Baloo the Bear, and I liked Phil Harris better as the voice of the animated bear in the cartoon Jungle Book movie. I found nothing inspiring in this film, nothing enchanting, nothing magical, or particularly funny. Depressing is the name and is the word for the second Jungle Book story. Families are warned. Thumbs down for me.
Thumbs down for me, too. Boy, you know, there was a live-action Jungle Book movie a couple of years ago with Jason Scott Lee that was pretty entertaining. This one basically takes a demeaning Indian caricature or stereotype and spends half of the movie having him jumping up and down and screaming while his monkey runs around, and Mowgli tries to catch the monkey.
And please remember, I said that's the best part of the movie. Because it's absolutely lifeless. Lifeless.
It's a movie without any point. And I would just say, once again, for this age group, there's a movie out there called Shiloh.
Yes.
That's the one to see. Same age group.
Yeah.
Infinitely better movie. When we come back, Jason Alexander stars in Love, Valor, Compassion.
Play something, John. Something gay. We want gay music by a gay composer.
There's no such thing as gay music, Buzz.
Well, maybe there should be. Ethel Merman was gay, you know. So was Irving Berlin. Irving Berlin. I don't think English is the Ramones' first language.
8 gay men meet over several weekends at a summer house in Love, Valor, Compassion, the film version of Terrence McNally's Tony-winning Broadway play that explored many aspects of their relationships, their personalities, and their dilemmas. That was Jason Alexander from Seinfeld there as the friendliest and in some ways the saddest of the men who nevertheless often tries to turn everything into a joke. Here he shows why he was never any good at sports in a volleyball match, teaming him up with the owner of the summer house, played by Stephen Bogardus.
Oh, you okay? That's it! Change partners! You show him, Gregory.
Don't do this! You're traumatizing me! I'm back in the 6th grade, Coach Reardon's gym class. Nobody wants me on their side. It's the exact moment I became a raving homosexual.
John Glover plays a dual role as twin brothers. One twin is withdrawn and moody, but here we see the other one, Glover as the twin everyone likes, making a new friend.
I don't think I'm his type.
I don't think either of us is. I enjoy looking, though.
Is there a British equivalent for machismo?
No, none at all. Maybe Glenda Jackson.
But that good twin is seriously ill, and as his health further declines, Alexander confides in Stephen Spinella.
Harry, just once I would love to see a West Side Story where everyone gets it. The Jets and the Sharks, and Officer Krupke, too, while we're at it. What's he doing? Sneaking away from the theater. Get back here and die like everyone else, you son of a... I want to see a Sound of Music where the entire Von Trapp family dies in an authentic alpine avalanche. Or a Kiss Me Kate, where she's got a huge cold sore on her mouth.
Oh, God.
A funny thing happened on the way to the Forum, and the only thing that happens is nothing. And it's not funny. And they all go down waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for nothing, like everyone I know or care about is.
Love, Valor, Compassion wisely avoids too much plotting. Instead, it wants to record some time in the lives of these men, 2 of whom are dying of AIDS. For my money, both of the best performances in the movie were by the same man, John Glover, who plays the twins, whose personalities are anything but identical. It is very difficult, almost impossible, for an actor to play a scene with himself in a dual role. I'm always distracted when I see that in a movie. I'm always thinking, well, that's the shoulder of a stand-in, you know. But Glover succeeds in this movie not only in doing it, but in doing it so well that I forgot that that was what was happening. The movie is literate and intelligent. It has a lot of heart, and I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, and you know, so many of the issues in gay films seem to be the same over the, you know, nearly 30 years we've been working as film critics. From Boys in the Band, the same issues still seem to be there. What I liked about this picture, what I thought separated it out from the pack, were the moments of relaxation, the being together. Some of the scenes just at the water's edge, the tenderness.
Yeah, or sitting around in the kitchen.
Just the relaxed
like
moments, rather than the forced drama. You know what I'm saying? I mean, aren't you a little tired of some of the
Well, even here now with the issue of AIDS.
Yes.
It's not done in some kind of a preachy way. It's two people talking about their own
Well, that scene I like. Yes, that's a good
that's
example.
a very good scene. I think actually this is a crossover movie. It shouldn't be limited to a gay audience, and I hope it isn't, because this is a movie for anyone who's interested in intelligent people who are seen in an honest way.
Okay, coming up next, first there was Booty Call. Now here's another sex comedy mining the same territory. Sprung is next.
Looks like I see potential. Yeah. About the best looking behinds I done seen all night.
That's Rusty Cundiff and Joe Torre as a couple of guys on the make with fantasies about the woman they've just met in Sprung. A new comedy that I just mentioned could be the sequel to Booty Call, but that's only in terms of subject matter, because whereas Booty Call had plenty of big laughs and built a comic energy, Sprung, like its title, is utterly lacking in tension or drive. In one of the few gags that does work, one of the ladies is pretty good at sizing up the financial wherewithal of the guys that hit on her.
Watch. I say 250. Now there's at least 775 worth of gear at the close 1200. Ain't that fine, but I can work with that.
That's Paula J. Parker. She winds up with Joe Torre, but on their first night together, she discovers that he's been scamming her by pretending to be richer than he really is.
Think I'm gonna just let you drive away with a Porsche? What do you want to hear, huh? Want me to tell you I love you? Huh? I love you, okay? Come on, just stop the car.
I don't go for that love stuff. Get off the car.
As for the other couple, not much better. He's really weak, and Keisha Campbell tells him off.
Big bro, please. If that's not the most weak, whack, ancient Mac Daddy line, yeah, baby, I'm a photographer.
What passes for the rest of the story has one couple trying to break up and then put back together the other couple. Here's some of the plotting. A lot of histrionics and name-calling, but no character development or laughs.
So, you got any ideas up in that peanut-sized brain of yours?
Yes, I do, Miss Wiggy. But you got to be willing to go all the way.
Sprung, like so many TV sitcoms these days, substitutes insults for dialogue, physical stunts for character development. There really isn't one character that remains in my memory just a week or so after seeing this picture, whereas I do remember all of the four players in Booty Call. I think of these characters in Sprung as just sort of four dialogue balloons screaming at each other.
Boy, it really is a bad movie, and it takes a bad movie to show you how good a good movie is, because really Booty Call and Sprung start out with the same assignment.
Absolutely.
And Booty Call fulfills it and Sprung fails. And you know, one of the things that really offended me, this movie gets off to a real bad start right at the beginning with a very, very, very noticeably long, protracted scene of extremely physical lovemaking in an animalistic way with lots of sound effects and noises and so forth that really sets you up for a totally different kind of movie than what is basically the sitcom to follow. I think they were going for laughs or for humor, I don't know, but it just became extremely vulgar and repetitive and endless, and it put the actors in a very, very bad light personally.
Well, I think they're probably proud of their bodies. I don't know how bad a light it puts them in.
You didn't get to see enough of their bodies to know whether they were proud of them or not.
Okay, they look pretty
That was another complaint I had.
Oh, okay. All right, you're all over the map. When we come back, one of this year's Academy Award nominees, A Chef in Love.
The Century Plaza, offering the finest in luxury, service, and Southern California style, adjacent to Beverly Hills on L.A.'s fashionable West Side. The Century Plaza Hotel and Tower, a Westin hotel.
A Chef in Love tells the story of a chef who is in love with a lot of things, with great wines and fine cuisine, with women and song, and with love itself. Pierre Richard plays the title role as a middle-aged French chef who is traveling through the Eastern European country of Georgia between the world wars when he meets the love of his life in a train compartment.
Ça tombe bien. C'est mon vin préféré. En plus, c'est une grande année.
Vous parlez français?
Et si on peut imaginer un petit quelque chose à manger pour le mettre en valeur?
Donnez-moi 5 minutes.
That's Nino Curtazzi as the young woman. In a country restaurant, the chef puts on an amazing display of his gourmet knowledge.
Du faisan.
Oh, hobby.
C'est aérien. Et pourtant, il y a comme une touche de rudesse, de bestialité.
Traga velurică măstăcrăv.
Ai sakmes magashia. Alors, de la noix de muscade, du piment rouge, un demi-verre de vin, et du foie.
Because he loves her so much, Pascal decides to stay in Georgia and opens a restaurant there. He saves the life of the country's president by smelling a bomb under the man's seat at the opera, and the president attends the opening of his restaurant. Like another recent movie, Big Night, A Chef in Love evokes great images of great food. Then everything that was going so right starts to go wrong. The communists take power in Georgia in 1921, and soon the chef is a virtual prisoner in an attic above his restaurant, and the woman has been forced to marry the party chief. A Chef in Love is told in flashback as a story learned by the woman's son, and it's a charming, if inconsequential tale. Not a great movie, but a nice little fable.
Well, I can't recommend it, Roger. I have a middling reaction to it, but when I think of all of the great food movies that we've had lately, and there have been a series of them, from like Water for Chocolate, and you mentioned Big
Babette's Feast?
Yes, I mean, this doesn't hold up to it. I didn't.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make you want to go out to dinner afterward like those pictures and enjoy food. And I think that it's more than just the presentation of food in those pictures that we enjoy. It's a passion. And here I felt that the story was so complicated and arch that the characters really didn't breathe. I wanted them to break out and feel their hearts a little bit, and I didn't get it here.
I'll tell you one way that, and I'm giving this a very middle-of-the-road review, as you could hear, yes, but I am recommending it. But one thing that could have helped is if they'd taken out the entire flashback structure, which is utterly unnecessary and which doesn't work out chronologically because too many years have passed since the story for the people who are remembering it to have been there.
And when you're getting into the bomb under the seat and all that, that's plotting. That's not character-driven stuff, and that, I think, is another problem, too. Coming up next, our video pick of the week, a good thriller with an excellent cast that a lot of people missed the first time around. Here's your second chance.
Ebert's video pick of the week is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
My choice this week is a solid medical thriller called Extreme Measures from last year, starring Hugh Grant, who is absolutely convincing in the role of a tougher character than he normally plays, a doctor determined to find out what's been happening to the many homeless people who start turning up missing and then are found dead.
Let me just get this straight. A, no one phoned me, so I suppose that was just my imagination running riot. And B, you have absolutely no record of a patient of mine that died 24 hours ago.
Your hospital's known for losing patients, living and dead.
What did you say? What did you say? You're quite a creepy person, aren't you?
The bad guy in all of this is an egomaniac played by no less than Gene Hackman.
Is there anybody you'd like us to contact? Do you have any family?
Oh, my daughter, but...
When was the last time you saw her?
Oh, not since 1978.
What surprised me most about Extreme Measures is that Hugh Grant, normally a fine romantic comedian, is so credible as a determined professional man with a crusade. I guess he's got a bigger range as an actor than I suspected. And it's clearly on view in Extreme Measures, my video pick of the week. Now let's recap the movies we reviewed on this show. 2 thumbs up for Night Falls on Manhattan, the political police thriller that is smart about a big city, and it features a hilarious, enthusiastic performance by Ron Liebman. 2 thumbs down for Rudyard Kipling's The Second Jungle Book, a dismal boy and his animals story. 2 thumbs up for the heartfelt drama Love, Valor, Compassion with solid ensemble acting. 2 thumbs down for Sprung, a sex comedy that simply doesn't work. And finally, a split vote on A Chef in Love. Roger sort of liked the food and political story. I found it wanting in character. His vote up, mine down.
Okay, that's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of more new movies, including Addicted to Love, starring Meg Ryan and Matthew Broderick as jilted lovers who plot revenge against their former sweethearts. And also a special report next week on DVD, the new video format that Hollywood hopes will someday replace cassette tapes. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.
What's the easiest way to close an ordinary storage bag? Put it in a hefty one-zip.
There's the hard way or the hefty way. Hefty one-zip.
You have a 30-year mortgage. So shouldn't you have a 30-year faucet? Mow it. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
Oh, the places Cool Whip can go. Take an everyday something and send it to new heights. Ooh, the possibilities.
By refinancing your mortgage at the money store, you can lower your interest rate and reduce your monthly payments, even if your credit is less than perfect. Call 1-800-LOAN-YES.